Episodes, and he was just like, really, it's been that many? And I'm like, yeah,
We're doing the thing.
we're doing the thing every week. And I told him, I was like, we do it every single, and he knows, but I'm like,
Yeah, but still, you don't realize how many weeks have gone by, because with the exception of we did 2 episodes in one weekend, we've recorded and then posted basically every weekend.
every single week. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
is exciting.
nice.
We have had, of all time, for our 16 episodes, 31 listeners, which is nice. I think that that's a good start.
Yeah, we're getting there. There's
Yeah.
gonna be plenty of other times, and we'll get there. I'm not worried about it. And even if we don't, I just enjoy doing this, and it's something
Yeah.
cool to like say that I did.
Yeah, exactly. I was a podcaster in my youth.
I put out a mediocre podcast where I talked about video games and ghouls.
So, what's happening? Tell me about your highs and lows.
My low is probably still feeling. I feel like I say this every fucking week for the past like 6 weeks, but I still feel like garbage.
Yeah. Chronic illness, man.
Yeah, but chronic illness, and yeah, it's not easy. And even though I've been taking my meds and I've been, doing what I'm supposed to be doing with my diet and everything, I still feel like garbage. And it's just been a whole thing, and I'm just exhausted. And then for high, there's a good couple ones. Eric and David's friend is here for the weekend. We've all been isolated so that we could all spend time with him due to personal circumstances with him. And it's been really nice to be able to see their best friend and see like their dynamic and stuff. And also, I booked a hotel room for Eric and I, and I'm half nervous, half not nervous. Half nervous because COVID, obviously.
Right.
And half not nervous because I'm just like, at this point, I'm still doing everything I can do to be cautious, And I'm just like, both Eric and I have not gone out, have not done anything fun, in quotations, in quite a long time. So we booked a stay at a Universal hotel. I won't say which one. And I haven't stayed in a Universal hotel since I was a kid. So
really?
And Eric has never been in a Universal hotel. So
I stayed in Cabana, I think, when my friend Brittany, she was in my bridal party when she got married.
Oh, cool.
Her bachelorette party was in City Walk the night, so we stayed in the hotel overnight.
That's funny.
And we put holes in the wall because we were 6 drunk.
You put holes in the wall?
Not like big holes, but we like tacked things, like thumbtacked things into the wall because she had this big banner that said "Same penis forever."
Oh my god.
So we closed her in another room and we decorated the whole.
It sounds like the most white girl shit I've ever heard you do.
It was, yeah, well, I am white passing for sure, but yeah, I don't.
It's just funny. I know, it just sounds like the most stereotypical.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love it.
When I'm with my sorority sisters, I am suddenly like a basic ass white girl.
Apparently.
So, yeah, we put tiny little pinpricks in the wall because we were
I'm sure people have done worse.
Girls who didn't realize that probably was a bad idea, but whatever.
I'm sure they didn't probably even notice, to be honest.
I doubt it.
I'm excited to, not like we don't have alone time, but there's something different about being in a hotel.
Yeah.
And we're able to spend one-on-one time together in a new place that we've both never been in, and just spend time.
Right, because if you stayed, you told me which one, which I have edited out. If you are staying there, you likely have not stayed in the hotel you are staying in.
No, I've never stayed there.
So
it'll be a new experience for both of us, and it's just
exciting.
I feel more safe being in the hotel than doing anything else right now.
Are you planning to like go into the parks, or are you just there to have a hotel
possibly
night? That's scary.
The only reason I say possibly is because I'm still paying for the annual pass, and at this point, canceling it, I would fuck up my annual pass more than if I just canceled it and re-got it later. So I'm just like, you know what? And I got an email saying that I get a free guest pass right now.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah,
So
probably because they're.
I don't get
Yeah,
it the same
probably.
perks anymore. A bunch of my perks from my tier of annual pass is fucked.
Mm-hmm.
So they were
Oh,
like,
really?
to make up for that, here's a free 1 day guest pass instead of my Halloween Horror Nights pass. Because with my pass,
Oh,
I get
yeah.
one free Halloween Horror Nights pass, and they were like,
Mm-hmm.
and I get like express earlier and stuff like that. The biggest thing is I don't know if we're gonna ride any rides if we do go. If we do go into the parks, we're going just to walk around.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we'd be able to ride any rides. I think it would just be us walking around
Mm-hmm.
just to have a different change of scenery and to talk, not because I haven't been to Universal since March and I don't
It's
know. It's
way too hot because I know I am absolutely the kind of person who will wear a mask in public because I know I need to. But I would not want to go because I don't
it's
want to
really
wear a
fucking
mask.
hot.
It's so hot.
Well, and the thing is, even if I go to the parks now, I'm gonna be in a wheelchair. So
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
me,
but
it's a little
still,
bit
it's hot.
easier. It's still hot, yeah, but
Yeah, it's still hot. No.
there's well, it just really depends on how we're feeling. So,
Yeah. Well, you
and
gotta be
also
ready.
there's City Walk too, but it's just we'll see. I'm just excited to have a night to spend time. Like we still obviously have roommates and stuff, so
Yeah.
it'll be nice to do that.
Be bound chicka wow wow.
When I told David that we'd got a hotel room, I was like, "Hey, by the way, we got a hotel room for this night if you wanted to like invite someone over or whatever, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, well, and I tell him, I'm like, what hotel do you think Eric would like? And I keep showing these hotels. And he was like, are you guys gonna fuck? And I was like, probably. And he was like, then I don't think he cares what room, Janelle.
Fair enough.
And I was like, okay.
That's fair.
I
He's got a point.
also heard Olivia had messaged me, my friend had messaged me and said that Universal was moving hotels around. So, like,
What?
if you booked a room for, say, Sapphire Falls, you got moved to Hard Rock. Like, they're fucking people's stuff around.
Oh,
But
weird.
it's always an upgrade. So, we were making jokes the other day when she had told me, I'm like, oh no, please upgrade me. Like,
Yeah,
if they
really.
wind up canceling my old reservation, upgrading me to a different hotel, I'm like, I don't
Mhm.
care. It's still a hotel.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not gonna
I
mess my life up.
would, yeah, I would love. See, here's the thing. You know how I am obsessed with Hard Rocks, and I have that collection of Hard Rock bears, right?
Yeah, and I would love to fucking go to the Hard Rock, you know?
The Hard Rock Hotel is the only Universal hotel I've not stayed in, and
That's
I am
surprising.
so. I know it's
Maybe
like the one
for
place I
your
want to go.
anniversary, I'm going to heavily hint to Kay. I'll be like, Hard Rock. She's like,
Yes,
I don't
please
know what
do.
to do. I would
Yeah,
just be like, Hard Rock.
yeah, yeah. Please do, because I would love to.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm excited to spend some time with my partner. And
Yeah,
the biggest reason we decided to do it is because we haven't had of course, we've been having date nights at home, but we haven't
yeah,
had a
but
date night away.
your whole relationship almost has been in quarantine.
Exactly. So I'm just like, I think we deserve a night, and
Sure.
we'll just be really careful when we get to the hotel to wipe things down.
Yeah, yeah. Take some Lysol wipes with you, my friend.
Yeah. But other than that, I think we'll be okay, and we'll just be really careful and stuff. Because
Sure, sure.
I think now we're both at the point where, like, we're doing what we can. It sucks because we both work now in
Yeah,
places
public.
where where there's public, and it's just
Yeah,
like we're being as careful as we can, but at this point it's like
yeah,
honestly, if one of us is going to get it, one of us is going to get it because we're
yeah,
both fucked. Like
yeah.
I'm just being careful because if I have it, I don't want to give it to somebody else. But
Mm-hmm.
other
Mm-hmm.
people don't seem to give a shit. Like, I've been going to the grocery store. I went to Target yesterday to
Mm-hmm.
just get paper towels and dish soap and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
people do not stand anywhere 6 feet away from you. I had
Oh, I know
someone
it.
walk straight up to me and stand right next to me. And I'm like, this
Ew.
is a Target. There's space, madame. Can you back the fuck up?
Yeah.
The amount of people that I see that are inside a store that have their mask under their nose,
Oh, I hate that.
hanging off their ear, on their chin, and I'm like, is none of the employees gonna be like, you should put that back on? You
Yeah,
might as well
no.
not be wearing one.
Yesterday we went to, was it yesterday? No, it was the day before yesterday. We went to Publix after work. We had to do some grocery shopping.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally watched some guy right in front of us walk in with the mask, and as soon as he was in past the customer service counter, he took the mask off.
What an asshole.
I was like, I hate you. Why? Don't come in public. If you don't
This
want to
is
wear a mask,
why.
don't go out in public.
That's the biggest thing is at this point I'm like, okay, I have to go outside to do things. I have no choice.
Yeah.
I have to work. But that's what I'm saying. Wear a fucking mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, no one's forcing you to wear a mask. You just don't fucking leave your house, you dumbass.
Yeah, that's how I
Order
feel.
delivery. Like, I don't understand. We have the
Instead of this-
technology.
Yeah. Oh,
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. But at this point, unfortunately, especially where we live in Central Florida, you know, like if one of us in this house is going to get it, no matter how careful we are, we're both like, well, because David and Olivia have been going on dates in the park
Aw.
and stuff in the safest places you can possibly think, nature, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's literally the only place that's safe right now, and even then I don't know, but it's just like I need to get out of this house at least a little bit.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And I don't want to go to the beach because people at the beach right now seem to be worse unless you go to like a really deserted beach. So I'm like, I don't.
Well, that's like we have the only place that I have been other than to the doctor's office is
the
my parents'
grocery
house.
the grocery store.
In the grocery store. And so Kay has a friend who is getting married in October.
Oh,
hopefully.
fucking good luck, yeah.
And the sister or the cousin, Kay's not sure, sent a bridal shower invitation. And I was like, oh, it's not till October. It's like the week before she gets married. And I was like, oh,
I don't
really
feel
wanna
safe.
go.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel safe.
I told her, I was like, I really want to go. We haven't been anywhere since March. And she's like, no, I don't want to go. But she doesn't not want to go because
She doesn't want to be with her friends. Like,
yeah, she doesn't want to go because bridal showers aren't her thing, which, like, if anybody ever saw a picture of my wife, she's hella butch.
yeah.
As in, like, people at
Bridal
the,
showers are fun, though. I hope she knows that I'm having a bridal shower and she's forced to come.
Well, when she listens to this episode, she will know then.
There you go, Kay. I hope you're ready. It's not going to be like a bridal shower to me because I've already had one. It wasn't that girly. Like, honestly, it was just a bunch of like games and people giving me stuff, which just makes me kind of uncomfortable now. Honestly,
Yeah, that's kind of how my bridal shower felt. I was like,
honestly, I probably wouldn't have a bridal shower at this point. I would probably just have like a bachelorette night, and by bachelorette night, I mean just get all of my girlfriends together to hang out.
Yeah, yeah.
But I hope you know, Kay. You're invited, fucker.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know her friend super well, and her friend would be the only person I would know, but there's a piece of me that's like, I haven't been anywhere since March. I want to do something other than...
But then you're like,
that I'm so tired of this town that I live in, and...
Have you seen the TikTok where it's just a girl saying, just because you're over it, the pandemic isn't over? And I'm like, yeah.
Oh, I know. Well, yeah, and I 100%
I agree. It just fucking sucks.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing is at some point I was just like, I'm still going to be doing what I can to make myself and other people as safe as possible, but I'm going to stay in a hotel room and you can't stop me.
Yeah, really.
Because at that point, I know Eric and I are okay. We just got tested. So I know we're okay, but it's just other people. They're so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
That is why. Because I'm sure there are people that stay in the hotel and they're like, I have a fever. And it's like, well, I wonder fucking why, dumbass. Why'd you go?
Well, I would not go into the parks if I were you, but...
We probably won't. And if we do, like I said, the only thing we're going to be doing is walking around and just basically enjoying the outside with scenery. Because that's the only way I think I can comfortably enjoy Universal. The only reason we thought about even going inside Universal is because Joey has now gone a couple of times and he was like, Janelle is dead. He's like, there's nobody in there. And he said that they're really super careful. They are enforcing 6 feet, unless obviously you're in a party or a group of people that you go in with. He's like, I really felt fine. And I was like, okay. But and it is scary, but Eric and I both agree if we really feel like going and we go inside and we are uncomfortable, we'll just leave. You know? Exactly. We'll just be like, and that's enough. Oh. Yeah. Hi, thunder.
Oh. Is it thundering?
Oh, loudly.
That was like yesterday. You were like, it sounds sunny over here. And we were like, room. I was like, oh god. Kay was like, I want to play Overwatch, and I was like, I don't know
I
how
don't
much
want to
more
turn on the
playing this right
PS4.
now.
What
Uh,
was your lows and highs?
so my lows are that we recorded the last episode on a Monday, and I mentioned that I had an issue with my boss, and that I had more issues with my boss on Tuesday and Wednesday. So my lows are that I just had issues at work.
Uh,
I think everything's gonna blow over now.
I
God,
think
I
it'll
hope
be. I
so.
think it'll be okay. And the worst thing, like I said, the worst thing is if you get to the point where you're like, I can't fucking do this anymore, you'll find another job.
Yeah. So
I'm
there's
sure there
that.
are other people that are in the same situation as you who listen to us that are like, I physically can't afford to quit and I fucking hate my job.
Yeah, so this is me telling you I am exactly in that same position, and you just tough it out until you find something. Things have a way of working themselves out. So try to, if you're concerned about it, try to find something else before you quit. But at the same time, if you need to take care of your mental health state, then do
Just
that.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your high?
Well, I had one more low.
Oh, okay.
The
My
other
bad.
That's okay. I told you this already through text, but the soap dish in my shower fell out.
Oh yeah. Okay, listen,
While
I
I
was
was
actually
cleaning
gonna
up.
talk to you about this, but I was so tired when you messaged me that I never
Mhm,
replied properly.
mhm.
Why did you use painter's tape? That's not gonna stay. Also,
I
what are you okay, here's my thing is that's funny as fuck because I'm like, okay, you put the soap dish back on, but are you gonna fucking use it?
I
No.
mean, we didn't. Here's the thing. We didn't use the soap dish beforehand. I was literally laying in a bathtub of
And then it fell.
water, and it fell into my lap, and I was like, "What happened?"
You should just put like a plastic bag there and then tape it instead of putting the soap dish up because I'm like, bitch, that ain't gonna stay.
Well, so we had put a piece of parchment paper folded over several times and then duct taped around the hole. To answer your question, the painter's tape situation was not my doing, but
Yeah,
I don't.
I would say so. Um, it was very interesting.
I'm not gonna
Oh,
get too
did you hear that?
the thunder again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. So yeah, those are my lows. My highs are that Prompto, we touched on this a little bit last week, but Prompto has been a brave boy, and this seems like such a small high, but
Oh, and he came out again.
I'm just really proud. He came out while the dogs were inside.
Oh.
Yeah, like the dogs were laying, Merlin was on the couch and Freya was laying on the floor behind the kitchen table, and Prompto came all the way out to the living room.
Oh.
I'm so proud of him. And this seems so small, but really, I mean, like, he.
Oh my god.
Oh!
We might have to record, like, finish recording either later tonight or
We can try to keep going if you want. I'm cool with that. But if you don't feel safe,
let
then
me
that's
see. Okay, let's do this.
okay. Well, I don't super remember what I was saying, but I guess I'll just say my high is that Prompto was coming out of the bedroom, even though the dogs were in the house, which is nice and very encouraging to me. And I had another one, but I don't remember it now because thunder happened. So
I'm so sorry, and anytime I talk, I'm gonna try to mute myself so that you can't hear the thunder, but if you
Mhm.
hear it, here's some ambient thunder noises. You're welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the lightning capital of the world, aka Florida. Anyway, so I guess it's time
The
for
spooks!
yeah.
You
Well,
got
this
true
week
crime, you what do you got for me?
I've got true crime for you this week.
Yeah.
And this one, just like as a trigger warning, it does deal with violence against children.
Okay.
And it's really heartbreaking and it's really tough to listen to. So this is actually the Delphi murders.
Okay.
And if you hear me say Delphi murders, it's because Delphi is a Greek word and the Greek pronounced it Delphi, so I've been pronouncing it Delphi, but I guess
It's Delphi.
Indiana natives pronounce it Delphi. So I'm gonna try to pronounce it correctly according to the Indianians, but it's
It's gonna
Delphi.
be difficult. Yeah.
I've been saying Delphi the whole time. So my sources for this are an r/true crime discussion post by user
Ooh.
Blog Green. This is actually that post actually was what I saw that made me want to do this story.
Okay, I'm
And
excited.
then I got
Well, not
information.
excited for murder, but excited
Right.
because I actually haven't heard of this.
Oh, good. Okay. So, and then I got some other information from WRTV.com, ABCnews.com, InsideEdition.com, Medium.com, and r/Delphi Murders timeline. the Indiana State Police website, and I listened to Crime Junkie episode from February 11th called "Wanted Killer on
Oh, I need to
Hybrid
catch up.
Crime." So, well, this is February 11th, 2018. So
Okay. Maybe
their
I have, and
episode.
I just don't remember it.
Yeah, their episode was almost a year after the initial crime happened. So, Delphi, Indiana is a small town of about 2,900 people in western Indiana, and it is the county seat of Carroll County. And by all accounts, it's a small, tight-knit community that until February of 2017 was quiet and quaint and anonymous and just a small town. Small town USA was how Sheriff Toby Lazenby described it. So small that there is one single main street that runs through the middle, and on the main street, I guess there's the prison at the top, the jail, and the court, and then the library. So on the night of February 12th, 2017, 13-year-old Abigail Williams, who went by Abby for short, and 14-year-old Liberty German, who went by Libby for short, had a sleepover over at Libby's house. And they were best friends. Like, they met while they were on the volleyball team together in their middle school volleyball team. They were in band together. They both played alto sax. Everybody says that these two girls were inseparable. They were best friends. And they both, when they grew up, had wanted to go into law enforcement and forensic science and criminal justice. So they had stayed the night with each other on the night of February 12th, and then on the afternoon of Monday, February 13th, 2017, the girls asked Liberty's older sister, Kelsey, to drop them off at a trailhead for the Delphi Historical Trail.
Okay.
And the thing about the Monday is that they were using like an unused snow day, which like for us as Floridians would be like a hurricane day.
Interesting.
Yeah,
An
so
unused one, like you just get that off?
so snow days and hurricane days are days built into the school year so that if you have to miss a day in December, you can make it up again in February or March.
Interesting.
But if you don't miss because there was no hurricane or snow,
You still get a day
then
off?
you still get that day off.
That's interesting. I don't remember that when I was in school down here.
Yeah, so they were off for that day. They had a 3-day weekend. They weren't skipping school or anything. They were just off enjoying a 3-day weekend. So Kelsey, the older sister of Liberty, dropped the girls off at the trailhead for the Delphi Historical Trail at 1:35 p.m. on Monday the 13th. And the plan was just to enjoy those days until Libby's dad came to pick them up on his way home from work, I think. The sources say that her dad was coming to pick them up, but I could not gather where he was coming from, but it sounded like he was coming from work. It's not an important detail, but that's why I said I'm
you're
not
like,
sure. Yeah. They walked a path of the trail that includes a bridge called the Man on High Bridge, and at 2:07 p.m., Liberty uploads a picture of Abby walking along the bridge to her Snapchat. I'm gonna send
there's
you
pictures of this.
Yeah. So we're gonna
Nice.
have this posted on our website, ghoulgaminggals.com. I have started like a little blog. So that's the picture that Libby added or posted up.
Oh, it says invalid.
Oh no. Okay, let me see. Try that one.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's very like aesthetic, the kind of picture that
Tumblr.
Yeah.
I'm on a railroad track.
Yeah, basically.
It looks like a railroad track. I don't think it is.
Yeah, it's been referred to as a railroad track. I don't know.
It might be like an abandoned one or something.
I was going to say maybe it was repurposed into a bridge. It's referred to as the Man on High Bridge, but
Okay.
So that was at 2:07, and that was the first, only, and last picture that was posted to social media from the girls.
Oof.
Which nobody at the time thought anything of. So at 3:11 p.m., so a little over an hour later, Libby's dad called them to let them know that he was getting close to, so that they can start making their way to come pick them up. But she didn't answer her phone, which is like, no big deal. I was a teenager once. I almost never answered the phone for my mom. I still don't answer the phone for my mom, really.
Honestly, if I didn't answer my phone when my mom called, my mom would have whipped my ass. But also, I know most teenage parents, if their kids don't answer immediately, they're like, okay, they're doing something.
Yeah, exactly. So he called again at 3:13 to let him know, hey, I'm here at the trailhead, make sure you guys are getting back, but she didn't pick up again. So he waits there until 3:30, thinking maybe they're on their way back, maybe they lost track of time, maybe they got sidetracked. But by 3:30, the girls still hadn't arrived, so he got out and started looking for them. And he couldn't find them. So at 4 o'clock, he called his mom, which is Libby's grandmother, Becky, who Libby was living with at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And Becky called Abby's mom, whose name was Anna, and by 4:30, Libby and Abby's families were all looking for them. And just like we have the gift of, I don't know if I would say gift, but we have hindsight on our side here, and we know, like, this is true crime, what's going to happen. But in that moment, they weren't thinking
Something
they
bad
weren't
happened.
panicking about we're looking for our daughter's bodies. They probably thought they were goofing off somewhere. They lost track of time.
Or they,
Maybe
like,
worst
got
case
lost,
scenario, yeah.
maybe.
Worst case scenario, one of them got hurt, but close enough off the trail that they knew somebody was going to find them eventually, so they just stayed there. There was no.
They never thought they were dead.
Yeah, exactly. So at around 5:30 p.m., I think the exact time was 5:20, but whatever. They were officially reported missing to the police, and oftentimes the police don't take missing persons cases very seriously, but
Unless it's been
thankfully,
quite a while.
right. Thankfully, the police were immediately on this, which
Okay,
is really
good.
nice and refreshing to hear.
Yeah, honestly. Most are
Yeah.
like, and the police thought the girls were fucking off for 36 hours. And you're like, I
Yeah.
swear to God.
Yeah. But no, the police took this pretty seriously right away. But around the same time, they were reported missing at 5:20 ish, and around 5:30 was when cell phone pings and calls to Libby's phone stopped going through,
Oh
and
no.
that's when they assumed that her phone just died.
Yeah.
Again, they're still not thinking any foul play, just thinking the girls are fucking off somewhere.
And they're, yeah.
So they search until midnight. Some places say midnight, some places say 2 a.m. But the point of the matter is
It was late.
they search until they physically can't anymore because it's just too dark. You can't see anything. And so on Tuesday morning, bright and early, the search resumes in tandem with FBI, dive teams, search dogs, and the whole 9 yards. And a little bit after the search starts, the Carroll County Police says, we're looking for volunteer search for 2 missing girls. There's Amber Alerts put out, this, that, and the other thing. And even the next morning, they still weren't looking for foul play or for kidnapped girls. They just kind of assumed the girls had gotten lost or
Or
gotten
they,
stuck.
like, ran away or something.
Yeah, the biggest concern was the girls, like, something happening to them because of exposure to the elements, not necessarily because of any ill-intended person. So, unfortunately, the girls' bodies were found by a volunteer search party around noon at the edge of the water in Deer Creek, and they were about half a mile away from each other.
Oh, so they weren't near each other.
Yeah, and they were found on private property that belonged to 70-year-old Ron Logan.
I'm sure he loved that.
Well, Ronald Logan, he was initially investigated, and he has a criminal background of his own, and he'd eventually get into unrelated trouble, but he was cleared from the investigation of Abby and Libby's murders.
Okay.
Well, I shouldn't say murders. At the time, they didn't
know
weren't treating
how
it
they
as a
died.
crime scene. They were
What
treating.
were their bodies in, like, rough condition or anything?
Well, that's the thing. So there's not a whole lot of information about the condition the bodies were in. There's been a lot of rumors about, like, what happened. Some people say their throats were cut. Some people say their throats were snapped. Some accounts say that at their funerals they were both wearing scarves, indicating that maybe they were trying to cover something up on their neck,
on their head or neck or something.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was February in Indiana. It gets cold. So to me, if I was being, buried.
And you had, like, an open casket, it might
Right,
just be easier to put on a scarf.
Yeah. If I was being. Well, the other thing is, like, you got to think about the season. If I had passed away in January, don't bury me in a bathing suit. And on the flip side, if I pass away in August, don't bury me in, like, fur coats.
Yeah, that's true.
I would rather, like, be buried in, like, seasonally appropriate clothes. I don't know why, because I'll be dead, but
the idea is there.
Yeah. So he was initially investigated, but it turned out that he had nothing to do with it. So he was cleared from the investigation.
Okay.
And this is Ron Logan, the 70-year-old. So the next day, so February 15th of 2017, autopsies were performed, and they were formally confirmed to be the bodies of the 13 and 14-year-old Abby and Libby. Which everybody already knew, but obviously
it's still sad.
You have to go through all of the avenues. So it is after the autopsy that the Delphi police announced that they suspect foul play. They don't give any reason why. They don't say what happened to the bodies because up until that point, they were treating it as accidental deaths, but now they're treating it as a murder investigation.
So they're like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
this is what's going on now.
So, in the same press conference that they had announced the IDs of the bodies, they had posted a grainy picture of a man in blue jeans and a navy jacket. And law enforcement had said at the time that they just wanted to know who that person was and to come forward because we want to know if you saw anything, if you heard anything, if you've seen anything. And at the time, the public didn't know where the picture came from.
Interesting. Okay.
So, that's the picture that they released to the public. And again, all of this
It
will be
looks
on.
like a 15-year-old boy.
Well, it's not super clear as to who it is or what it is, but that was the picture. They were like, we want to know who this person is. We want them to come forward. We want to talk to them, ask them questions. If they saw anything, if they know anything, if they have any insight into what happened to these poor girls. So, on February 19th, so 4 days later, apparently nobody ever came forward, so the police announced that the man in the photo that they released on the 15th is now the main suspect.
Okay, then.
So 4 days, nothing happens. They're thinking, well, if this person was just like a bypasser or something, he would have come forward to tell us everything we had. So now we're thinking, maybe not. And we'll get into it in a little bit, but there was some things going on behind the scenes that also made him the main suspect. So on February 22nd, there was a huge press conference. It was held by the state police, local police, and the FBI. And this is where they reveal that the picture that they released back on the 15th came from. It was a picture that they had taken from Libby's phone.
Uh-oh.
So in that same press conference, they also released an audio clip from a video that Libby had taken on her phone. And in that moment, and even today when people report on it, they praise Libby for her presence of mind and for her wisdom in taking these pictures and taking these videos.
Because, or else nothing would have come about, probably.
Right. Yeah, so let me send you this. This is an audio clip that they released.
An audio clip?
Before you listen to it, I should say that this is an updated audio clip. I couldn't find just of the original one. The updated one has 4 words. The original one only had the last 3 words, which will make more sense when you listen to it. So
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Downhill.
Guys downhill?
Down the hill. Yeah.
Oh.
So, and according to authorities, there is more audio, even more than the added guys part. But at the time, the only piece of the audio that was released to the public was the down the hill part.
Interesting.
Police give further indication that the video takes place during, quote, criminal activity, but no other specification has ever been given as to what was going on in the video. It is if you go back and watch press conferences pertaining to this investigation, you can see that whatever was in that video has visibly and emotionally shaken the investigators to the core. They never released what happened. Nobody knows.
No.
The public doesn't know exactly what happened, but investigators of this murder investigation are visibly shaken by it. So on that same day, which is the 22nd of February, $41,000 reward was offered for any tip that would lead to the arrest of the man who committed the murders. The next day, the 23rd, the reward was raised to $50,000, and by March 1st, the reward for any tips leading to an arrest was over $200,000.
Oh man.
Yeah. So not a whole lot happens until July 17th. They released a sketch they say could be what the individual looks like, but urges the public not to get too hung up on the image. So if you think you have any idea who the person is, don't get hung up on what they look like. It's more important that you just let us know so that we can investigate. So there's a picture of that sketch that they released.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So in August of 2017, the police say that they have DNA that they are investigating from the crime scene, but did not specify any more than that. So nobody really knows what that means. Is it the girl's DNA? Was there bodily fluid DNA? Nobody knows. The autopsy reports or anything was never publicly announced. So there's speculation that maybe the girls were sexually assaulted. Maybe they weren't. One of them was, one of them wasn't. Neither of them was. Nobody really knows. All the police say was that there was DNA that they found at the crime scene that they are investigating.
Okay.
So then in September, a person of interest comes about in the name of Daniel Nations after he was arrested in Colorado for shouting at people and swinging axe in a wooded trail.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of redneck
So he was also connected to the murder of a 60-something-year-old man who died of a gunshot wound, but
Oh.
don't think he was ever convicted of that.
But they
But
connected him to it.
here's the side-by-side picture of the drawing and the picture of Daniel Mitchell.
Yeah, that looks like him.
It's almost the same person.
That's insane.
Yeah, so people are now like, oh, we've got the guy, blah, blah, blah. So put a pin in that because we're not done yet.
Oh god.
In January of 2018, the FBI and Indiana State Police announced that they're expanding the search to southeastern Tennessee, and then but like immediately redacted that and was like, no, it's a nationwide search.
Oh wow.
But people were thinking, what happened in Southeast Tennessee that made them initially want to say we're looking at Southeast Tennessee?
Yeah, that's very specific.
Yeah, exactly. There's no more information on it. They initially said Southeast Tennessee and then redacted it almost immediately and just said a general nationwide search for
They
the.
were like, just kidding.
Mhm.
We don't want to make people know that we're looking
Yeah.
at Tennessee.
Yeah. I don't know if it was because something did happen or something didn't happen, or they were hot on somebody's trail and somebody effed up and didn't want to give them clues about where they were looking. I don't know what happened. There's so much speculation,
That's
but
interesting though.
something might have or might not have happened in southeastern Tennessee that.
Threw them off for a second.
So by the time the 1 year mark hit, so we're talking February 2018,
Poor
police.
girls.
Uh-huh.
Poor
The
families.
Yeah, it's really sad. I cut out some information just because like it's too heartbreaking for me, but I am trying to stick to all the facts that I can. So by February of 2018, officials and authorities announced that they are no longer considering Daniel Nations a person of interest or somebody
What?
they were looking too deep into.
That's annoying.
I didn't add it in here because it ended up being that they weren't connected, but there was at the time another pair of cousins who were 10 and 11 who
Mm-hmm.
had been murdered in the woods, but they weren't found for 5 months later. And this was back in 2012, I think. And people thought maybe those two were connected, but I didn't add it in here initially, even though I'm mentioning it now, because the Iowa police, where the cousins were, and the Indiana police both say we know there's similarities, but we don't think they're connected. So another year passes, and in early 2019, authorities release this new sketch and announce that they're taking a different direction with the investigation.
Okay, so now they're looking for the other guy that they
Well,
originally.
right. So there's only one guy.
Oh.
They're only.
Well, they're looking for that. Okay, but now they're looking at it differently.
Yes, they're looking at it differently. They're not looking at Daniel Nations, but they're only looking for one suspect.
Okay.
People working on the investigation believe that the person who committed this crime likely has done it before and will probably do it again.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so that's why there's such a push to find whoever it is. So I guess there's a little bit of silver lining to this. While even today, here in August of 2020, there has been no arrest ever made in connection to the Delphi murders.
That's fucking terrible.
I know. The investigation of their death has actually led to several unrelated arrests because
They
people
keep finding people that have done other shit.
Yeah, they're following leads, and the leads are taking them to different places, but they're not taking them
I
any
guess that's the
closer.
one silver lining.
The other silver lining is that in light of the girls' murders, people from far and wide had donated to have the trails updated with lights, cameras, and updated paths for increased safety and safer mobility.
That's awesome.
And that's currently where we stand. I'm going to add a little bit of insight here. If you have any information or insight to the whereabouts of the suspect or tips that could lead to an arrest, please email the investigation at abbyandlily@tip@CACOSHRF.com. The Indiana State Police says that the email is the preferred way to drop tips, but if you really want to call by phone, there are 3 numbers. The designated tip line is area code 844-459-5786. The Indiana State Police are accepting tips at 800-382-7537. And the Carroll County Sheriff's Department is also accepting tips at 765-564-2413. And
I
that
really
is.
hope that they find.
Yeah, me too. And if, something ever comes of this, obviously we'll do an update episode.
But 13 and
Yeah.
14 years old. It's so
They had their
sad.
whole life ahead of them. And they just went out just for a walk. Like this trail, according to I listened to the Crime Junkie episode specifically, even though other podcasts have followed it, because they're Indiana locals. So they
Yeah,
know
exactly.
the area. And the thing that Ashley Flowers had said was that that is a well-traversed area. It's not like the girls had to bat away overgrowth or anything to get through the
Like,
trails.
people go there all the time.
Yeah. It's like if there was going to be tourism in Delphi, I'm sorry, if
That's
there
the
was,
place.
yeah, exactly. So that is the story of the Delphi murders.
Yeah, I
And
really hope that they solve it.
I know that we don't have like a big following right now, but I hope that maybe if we do get a big following, or maybe somebody we listen to knows. I don't know. I just hope that they find this guy soon, because those poor girls had their whole lives ahead of them.
So unfortunate.
Yeah.
Hopefully something good comes of it,
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me about some gaming. What's going on over in the gaming world?
So I have a good couple of things from Tech Radar. 8 Nintendo Switch games that are still releasing in 2020. First one being the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered is still coming out.
I'm so excited.
Its release date is August 27th, 2020. And
Oh,
it's
I
crossplay,
know.
so it's cross-platform.
Thank God.
And then the other game, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, is still coming out this year. It was originally released on Wii U in 2013, so it's definitely being released October 30th of this year. The next game is Over the Alps, which is, I've never heard of this game, so I'm just going to give you the synopsis that they have here.
Okay.
It is World War II set interactive spy game, was acclaimed when it released on Apple Arcade and PC earlier this year. Now Switch owners can look forward to experiencing it later this month. The developers describe Over the Alps as a Hitchcockian thriller. It's set in Switzerland, and the story is written by John Ingold, who worked on the excellent 80 Days and Heaven's Vault, and it'll feature multiple endings, and it releases this month, August 25th. The next game, Chris Tales, described as an indie love letter to classic JRPGs. It's a turn-based combat game where you're able to warp enemies into the past or future. And that comes out November 2020. It doesn't say an exact date.
Oh.
The next game is Spiritfarer. It's described as a cozy management game. You'll be tasked with exploring the world, finding lost spirits, and guiding them into the afterlife, which I find pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's no exact date, but 2020. Empire of Sin. You probably won't go wrong with Empire of Sin, developed by Romero Games. It is set in 1920s Prohibition era Chicago. Its roaring 20s may seem very glitzy and glamoury, but underneath it's a criminal underworld. So that's that game. It comes out 2020. And then the last game is No More Heroes 3, which I've heard some stuff about. I never got into the series, but it's a hack and slash game.
Right. The only hack and slash I've ever played is Dynasty Warriors and Hyrule Warriors.
Okay. But yeah, it's coming out this year too.
Okay.
And then the next article I have is Epic Games is actually suing Apple, which
I heard about.
Yeah,
this.
which is a lot. This article is specifically from PC Gamer, but it kind of started off. What?
I said you can find it all over.
You can, yeah. This is specifically from PC Gamer, but it's over Twitter. It's all over the place.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. So apparently, it started off with a new payment system in Fortnite that was bypassed by Apple, and its 30% fee. It was offering players a discount if they purchased directly. For some reason, Apple's App Store policies. I don't know exactly what happened, but they removed Fortnite completely from the App Store. And Epic apparently anticipated this, as very shortly after the removal of Fortnite, it announced a new Fortnite Party Royale short called 1980 Fortnite, a play on the famed Apple's famous 1984 ad for Macintosh. So they knew it was coming. They literally had this ready.
Interesting. Hold on, I gotta look at that video.
And just minutes after it happened, Epic announced that it had filed a lawsuit against Apple, and they announced this on Twitter.
They really were just waiting on it. What
They literally were. They were like, and here you go, bitch. They knew it was gonna happen.
Wow.
There's a link as well that has more detail about the lawsuit. I can post it here for you. I don't feel like reading it all right now because
Oh,
it's
that's fine.
literally just straight up lawsuit stuff. But I
Yeah,
figured I'd bring this up in the podcast
yeah.
because it is a big deal. That's a big
That's a
deal.
big deal, yeah.
Apple and Epic, ugh, it's bad.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. I'm sure there will be an update next weekend about all of that.
Yeah, yeah. I'll post this on the website again, ghoulgaminggals.com. Don't you forget
Uh,
it.
And then the one of the last things I have, which I figured would be very exciting for you, the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword has appeared on Amazon UK, which was initially released for Nintendo Wii in 2001 and didn't have any updated ports at all.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're going to try and get it on the Switch.
Oh,
So we'll see. Essentially, so the article I'm reading this from is Screen Rant, so I'll just read a blurb from it.
okay.
The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword was a polarizing game at launch, as fans and critics derided it for its backtracking and for featuring one of the most annoying sidekicks in video game history.
Oh, I love
I would say I love Skyward Sword, so
Yeah, I do too.
a lot of people did not like Skyward Sword, but I liked it. With Fee giving Navi from the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time a run for her money, the game required the Wii Motion Plus in order for it to work, allowing for a greater range of movement with Link's sword. The use of the Motion Plus led many fans to believe that Skyward Sword couldn't work on the Switch, as the Joy-Con isn't as precise as the Wiimote was.
Yeah.
It seems that the rumors of Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword port to the Switch could be true, so we'll see. At the time of writing this up, the link for everything is still up. The page appears to be a placeholder at the moment. It has no cover art, and the price is listed at $69.99, which is $92 US. So it's possible that they might be having this out because let me link you to like the Twitter post too.
Yeah, yeah.
Because why would this be up if they weren't gonna do something with it, I guess.
Unless they were trying to fuck with people.
So we'll see. It
Oh,
could just
yeah.
be a big old weird hoax, but
Yeah.
I figured I'd bring it up because that's kind of exciting if that's true. That'd
Yeah.
be super, super fun.
Interesting.
And then I think some of the last things I have, they're just small bits. Fortnite a day ago put in Joker and Poison Ivy in the game, like skins.
Oh, interesting.
So they'll be, I think they're going to be coming out November 17th, but it's for the holidays. So it's Poison Ivy, Joker. I think there's someone else, but I don't remember. Midas Rex, sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I don't recognize
I don't play
Midas Rex.
Fortnite, so
But I know a lot of people do, so I figured I'd bring it up. I used to play Fortnite, but yeah, so the bundle is called the Last Laugh bundle.
I don't like Fortnite because I don't like being the only person over 13 years old.
You'd honestly be surprised. I played Fortnite a good amount like 2 years ago, and most of the people I played with were my age. But of course, yes, there's kids, but
Yeah,
honestly, at this point, the game has evolved so much that trying to hop in now would be a mind fuck, so don't do it.
Yeah, well, no, I don't plan to. I'm not a big fan of Battle Royale. I
That
did
too.
play Apex Legends for like a hot second when it first released because I wanted to know what the hype was about.
Yeah.
And I won't lie, it was like a pretty good experience as far as Battle Royale goes, but I don't enjoy Battle Royale as a rule. So
Mhm.
I stopped playing it after I leveled to like level 8 or 2 or something like
I
that.
don't blame you, but that's all I got for you.
Oh, okay.
Nothing
Sweet
crazy.
beans. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, mine was kind of heavy, so I'm glad you hit me with some Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, I had to spice it up. But other than that, there's not really a lot of stuff this week that was super interesting. It was just like, this update. And you're like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't play this
But my
game.
no, I
But,
get what you're saying.
yeah, that's all I have for you today. And thanks
Okay.
for sharing.
Yeah, thank you for sharing the video gaming news too. That's why we do this.
Yeah.
Oh man. So I guess with that, we'll go ahead and head into our closing. You can find us at Instagram at ghoulgaminggals.podcast. You can find us on Twitter at ghoulgaminggals and maybe on Facebook. I don't actually know.
I'm going to keep it that way.
You can find Janelle's Twitch at Janelle Nelly.
And you can find Angels at Arium Aquila, which is AUREUM AQUILA.
You can listen to us basically wherever you get your podcasts, and you can find us at ghoulgaminggals.com, where I have submission forms. So if you have a news story that you really want us to cover or a story that you want to share, please head over there. Yeah, and if you're the old school fashion, you're always welcome to email us at ghoulgaminggals@gmail.com.
Woo! And everyone, please be safe. Remember the
Wear your
pandemic
mask
is
in
not
public.
over. Yeah, exactly. And have a great week, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, bye.